My name is Vanish Daniels II, and we are here to interview Mr. Olden Richmond.
You can start over.
Yeah. Okay, my name is Vanish Daniels. We are here to interview Mr. Olden Richmond for his information from Hanford and his contribution to World War II for our History AACCES, which is History and Recognition Committee. I'm from the History and Recognition Committee. And if Mr. Richmond doesn't have anything, we would like to get started with the interview. And Mr. Richmond, when did you arrive in the Tri-City area?
1943.
Approximately what month?
It must have been around, I'll say around April, about April.
Okay.
Somewhere around about April, somewhere around there. Far as I can, it's been so long.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
Did you come by yourself or did someone come with you?
I had relatives come with me.
And could you give us their name, please?
Mr. Daniel, and
number one.
And Edmund, wasn't his name?
Yes.
Edmund Daniel.
Mm-hmm. And Mr. Edmund Daniels would be my great uncle. Mr. Vanish Daniels would be my dad. Mm-hmm. And how old were you? Just say 29.
Around 29,
right.
30.
Mm-hmm. Where did you live before you came to the Tri-Cities?
Killed, Texas.
Okay. What kind of work did you do there?
Well, I did most all around. I farmed some, and I worked in sawmill. And that's about all, the farming and working around sawmill.
Okay. How did you hear about Hanford?
Well, I heard it on the radio, and that they was going to put up a plant in Hanford, and so I checked with Mr. Daniel, my cousin, and got with him, and when we made it up to come to Pasco.
Okay. Well, that would tell me why you decided to come to Hanford. How did you travel when you came here? How did you come?
Come on plane.
On the train?
A plane. Caught the plane here.
Oh, okay. Where was the first place you stayed after when you guys got here? Where did you live at?
We lived over here on Douglas in a trailer.
Okay. Did you ever stay in the barracks?
Yeah. We stayed in this trailer till they got barracks fixed up for the laborers to go in.
No. Okay. Now, was that for the laborers to go in? Since everything was segregated out there, was those the black barracks they built for the black workers?
Well, it was mixed. Yeah, it was made for the laborers, for everybody.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then how did they get you back and forth to work?
Yeah, bus.
Okay. And then what kind of work did you do in the areas that you worked in?
Well, I clean up and digging the ditches and so on, like that. Sometimes my foreman would put me with the concrete crew, and I worked with them. So.
And then what areas did you work in?
200 West and White Bluff. We went all over, cleaning up.
Okay. Did you ever work at B reactor?
No, I don't think so.
Did you work at C reactor?
No.
Did you work at D&D Arrow?
I think so. That was way out, and that was way out in, was that DNR or was in White Bluff, wasn't it?
Yeah. D&DR is that White Bluff.
White Bluff, yeah.
It and H.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
It's been so long, I can't think of those.
Yeah. Yeah, because we may edit this part out, but from what I understand, you guys started at B reactor, and you worked all the way through all of the reactors, including, and the last reactor is F. You had B, you had C, you had K's, K-West, D, DR, H, and F. Those were the reactors out there.
Yeah.
And you guys were some of the first people to even go to, for instance, F reactor, except the surveyors.
Yeah.
My dad said when you guys got down there, wasn't nobody there but the surveyors and a bunch of stakes. He said because when they sent you guys over there, you were looking for a building.
Right.
And there wasn't no building nowhere to be found, and they was wandering around. He said it took them almost all day to find it because they was looking, they knew approximately where it was, but they thought it was a building of some sort down there.
Yeah,
and wasn't nothing down there but a bunch of stakes when they got down there, and they had a truckload of stuff they had to unload.
That's right. He was right.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. And who did you work for when you was doing this?
Worked for, what was that guy's name I called?
Butler.
Butler.
Yeah. But what company was it? That was it DuPont?
DuPont.
DuPont. Okay.
DuPont.
And well, other than the fact that you came here because there were better wages,
right,
than you were making where you were. What did you like about working out there?
Well, I made more money. Come in to make a living. I had a family, and so I liked it. I liked it very well because I did pretty well when I come here.
Okay, now, from what I understand, from what you were making where you came from, and a full day's work after you got here, you made almost as much money in one day as you did in a week back there.
Right.
Okay.
I worked a whole 5 days a week off the farm, $3.75. And I come here, they was paying $1 an hour. And that was weird. We was running around when we was working out there, it was 8 hours. And we run around maybe about pretty close to 500 a week.
Okay. How did they treat you out there? And you can go on and tell me about what we were talking about.
Yeah, well, I run to one redneck out there. And I was down the hole there cleaning out behind the ironworkers. You know that when they burn, you know, they're burning those wires. You had to take it out, clean all of that, you know, while they could post cement.
Right.
And so this one redneck, he walked by me and looked down in the hole on me. He said, "I should kick your ass." And I looked up at him like that. I said, "No, you won't kick my ass." I said, "We'll fight." And he started down in the hole, and I met him with the shovel, and where the people were working at, just about taller than that fence there. And John Brown, he started running, and time he hit the ground, I was right on him with that shovel. And so Butler, he seen me running this guy, and he running hard, and he said, Olden said, "What's the matter?" I said, "This guy was saying he's gonna kick my goddamn ass," and I told him we were fighting, and I told him I say, we will fight. And so that sells that. And so mother fighting.
So by that, you're saying that your supervision would stand up for his workers,
Right.
whether they were black, white, blue, or
He
yellow.
treated everybody the same. If you
Okay.
did wrong, you went.
Okay.
He-
Okay. What was the hardest thing about adjusting to being away from home and working out there at Hanford?
Well,
But getting used to. You had to get used to
I
it.
had to get used
Yeah.
to it.
Mhm.
Yeah. From being away from home, man, you had to get used to it. And sooner or later on, I sent for my wife to come, and she went to work in the mess hall. And so of course they had all the women, you know, they had the separate barracks. They had fences around about like that there, or taller than Charles Evans' place there.
Yeah.
It had that wire way up. They let you in there at a certain time, and a certain time you had to get out. You could go see, if you had a wife or something like that, you could go in there and stay till, well, you go in there around about 5:30, 6 o'clock. What time you got through eating,
Yeah.
then you'd go and stay with your wife till around about 8, 9 o'clock. Then they had guards at the gate. And if you stayed too long, he's gonna find you.
Oh, I
bring
see.
you out of there.
Okay. One question that I'd like to ask is, what entertainment, what after you was off work, like on weekends and things, what did you guys do?
Well, some gamble, and they had a what you call those things? A music box.
Yeah.
They had a music box and a
boxes.
beer joint and
Yeah.
everything in the mess, in the recreation hall. So that's why we some gamble and some run and drink,
Yeah.
all like that.
I mean, if when you left off of the Hanford site, where did you guys go for the weekend?
We come to here.
Oh.
Come to South Tri-Cities.
Okay. And how long did you work out there at Hanford?
I worked up to 1950.
Okay. Do you remember the name of any of the black people you worked with?
Well, let me see. I worked with Cooper. You remember Cooper, don't you?
Yes.
And well, I worked with your dad too, and your uncle, Cracker.
Yeah.
I worked with them.
Okay, that would be Marion Barton,
Yeah.
W.L. Daniels, Vanish Daniels.
Yeah, we wrecked on. We put in the railroad out there, remember?
Yes. Yes.
And Willie Hicks, you remember
Yeah.
Willie Hicks? I worked
Yeah.
with him.
Mm-hmm.
And let me see, who else now? Russell. I worked with Russell out
That's
there.
that's David Raines.
David Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's worked with quite a few. I can't. It don't come to me right all.
Oh well. If it
Anyway.
comes to you, we can go back to it later.
Yeah.
And
So
do you have any pictures or any old pictures or anything like that from back
Out there?
then at Hanford?
no, I don't have any pictures at all.
Well, do you know of any other people that we may talk to and get some information from?
Well, right off. Just like I tell you about Reverend Barnes and Duzelle Johnson, he probably can give you some information too. And the most of the guys that I could recommend, they gone, they passed, they dead.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the old timers,
Okay. Okay, then I got a couple of more questions. Since you retired from Hanford, or left Hanford, how has life been in the Tri-Cities for you?
Well, it's been real good for what I'm concerned. About as well as you'd expect.
Oh, okay, okay. And could you tell me a little bit about your family, like how many kids you got, how many great grandkids you got, great-grandkids, where they live in the Tri-Cities, whether they live in Pasco, Kennewick, or Richland, and like that?
Well, John Jr., he stays out there right across from Kmart. And Stephanie, she stays in
Now, John Jr. is your grandson.
John Jr. is my grandson.
Okay.
And Stephanie is my granddaughter.
Okay.
And Sherry, she's my granddaughter.
Okay.
And so Melville, she's my daughter.
Right, okay. And she lives
on Sycamore here in Pasco.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, let me see. I'm 5 generations, great-grandkids.
Right, okay.
So, let me see, about 6, I got 6 great-grandkids.
Okay.
And let me see, Stephanie, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I got two grandkids in Flint, Michigan.
Right.
By Olden.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I pretty well got around about 10 to 12 kids and grandkids and all, great-grandkids and all.
Okay, and you can tell me about your wives if you want to. If you don't, that's personal business. I mean, that's your business.
Oh, my first wife?
And your second one too, yeah.
Oh, well, I had my second wife is she was a dog. Yeah, I love her right in her grave right now. She was the sweetest thing. She didn't, we never did have a fight. Never did have a fight. She always called me babe, so and so and so. We have a little spats or something, but we'd get together on it and everything, and so that was the way it went. Yeah, I stand up there now sometime now and look at her pictures, man, and water runs out of my eyes.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
That's the best woman I ever had.
Your first wife lived?
My first wife, she lived in Texas. She in Flint, Michigan.
Okay.
So, well, we didn't. She was nice.
Yeah. Okay, we're going. When did your first wife come out? 44.
I don't remember what month she come.
What year?
She come out in the 40s.
No. Okay. I think she came out 44.
44 somewhere in there. I don't remember now.
And now, you went out there and you went to work and you understood that it was a great big defense job.
Yeah.
And you were making more money than you'd ever made in your life per hour.
Right.
Do you have any idea? I mean, not now, but back then, did you have any idea what you were making, what you were building?
No.
Or anything?
No.
Okay.
Because we had FBI's, they come all through. They walked all day long through there asking questions, and we didn't ever know. And tell me, no, we don't know what we're doing. We don't know what we're doing. We just study weapons, to make a living.
In other words, they gave you an assignment, and you did what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. And give me an assignment, and I did what they told me to do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, did they do any explaining to the workers and things as to what they, whether what they were doing was top secret, and that what went on out there was supposed to stay out there, or did they just not tell you anything, or?
Yeah, they said they didn't want you to be talking.
Mm-hmm. Okay, at that time, did you have to have different clearances to work in different areas and certain part of the buildings and things that you worked in? And how hard was it for them to get a clearance for you?
Wasn't hard.
In other words, you gave them the information as to where you were from and where you were born, where you worked, where you had been in your life, and they were able to get the FBI to do some checking, and you got your clearance from there. Okay, Mr. Richmond, that about concludes all of the questions that I have. Now, is there anything else you can think of, or anything you'd like to tell us, or anything you'd like to say? Or?
Well, that's just about all I got for now.
Okay. Well, we thank you for the interview, and we can sit here and look at these pictures because he's finna cut that off.